And we get pinged by the New York Times. Hey, we're doing a story on you, whether you like it or not. Like, this is what we're doing. So we kind of went around, we debated it for quite a while as to like, okay, do we just tell them to off, or do we actually give them the opportunity to write an objective piece, which I know is almost impossible, or statistically impossible for the Times to do. In that, for instance, he had every right to defend himself in that circumstance. I don't know how the legal system is going to push left or right. I don't know what was happening before, and I honestly don't know what's after, but I do know.
They were out of nowhere. They decided to ask you about racism, and you said, oh, this racism expletive really, blanks me off. I don't like, you were talking about the racist that you don't like. And then, of course, because the left wants to characterize all the right as being racist, that's how it was interpreted. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so the context of that conversation was about the direct attacks that the company had from last year that was representative against, or from racists and anti-Semites. We were the recipient of an attack against a very organized group of anti-Semites because of my last name. And we were discussing racist and anti-Semite remarks in that portion of our society. So my quotes are taken directly from, this is what I was referring to, the attacks, the inbox is being flooded, the doxing, the death threats. That's what I was saying. I was saying, this is the worst of our society.
I don't believe you.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and if you've been following the BRCC story here on YouTube, you'll know that over the weekend they angered a good bit of their customer base by with a new article from the New York Times. Now, I'm going to first and foremost issue an open request to both Evan and Matt from BRCC to come on and chat with me. And I'd love to give you the benefit of the doubt, except there are a lot of inconsistencies. And I saw you go on Dana Loesch's show, which was extraordinarily kind to you. Essentially, she just played defense for you and led you into saying the right things. That's how it felt to me. An interview in which you proclaimed all of these quotes as literal fake news and that they were out of context. Now, I will say, as a fellow hater of mainstream media, I want to believe you. Okay? I want to believe. But your actions in the days immediately following this article do not vibe with that. I know if I had participated in an interview with the New York Times and they had grossly misquoted me and angered my entire subscriber base, I don't think I would just blindly retweet the article, which is what you did. Okay? If those quotes were so taken out of context, where is the quote tweet correcting it? Where is the tweet thread talking about what you really meant was? See, it's my opinion, and it is the opinion of many of my viewers. I would suggest take a look at the like-dislike ratio on this video. If you believe what I believe, leave a like on this video. I believe you didn't care until you got the backlash. That's why on July 19th, you decided to go on a friendly platform and go with fake news. Essentially, 5 days later, you ran with fake news. Now, believe me, fake news is real, ironically. New York Times is partisan hackery, okay? But when you go on the Dana Loesch show, as you did yesterday, nobody forced you to take this interview with the New York Times. You did it knowing full well that it was going to be a hit piece. You know what happens when press reaches out to me and asks for my comment? They get a random picture of a scrotum replied to them. Anyone else who knows, my friend Count Dankula, similar things, okay? I don't give interviews to press because they lie. But you say you knew that, but you did it anyway. Did you genuinely think that the New York Times was going to give the mega coffee any positive press? Did you think that this was genuinely going to increase your sales? And another thing, after this interview was really disappointing for me, for both Dana and both Evan and Matt. She essentially carries you throughout this interview and asks you, hey, what about this thing? Didn't you just really mean this? Yeah, that's what we meant. Oh, that quote about, I wish I could get rid of these garbage people. So there's a point in this video where you're talking about your statements, okay, about, I wish I could get rid of these people. They're the worst kind of people on the planet, right? I want to get rid of them as customers. That was the quote in the New York Times piece that you are not, you're not refuting that you said that. You wish you could flush them. You would pay them to not be your customer, is what you said, right? The interesting thing is, to me, during this Dana Loesch interview, you hid behind, you said that, well, what you were really talking about was all these anti-Semitic attacks that you got. I had never heard of that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying that's the first I'm hearing of it. So it feels like maybe you're using that as a shield. This is the problem. When you do a press interview, you should have recorded the whole thing unedited. This is like an easy thing that could have avoided all this. But you go on this interview and you talk about how it was, you weren't talking about people who thought that Kyle was defending himself. In fact, in this video, you say that you believe people have a right to defend themselves. I thought that was a good point. I thought that was good for you to clarify, except that's not what you said in this article. One of the gentlemen here refers to themselves as anti-woke. If all of this was just some horrible hit piece, why is your Twitter completely there's no refuting any of this? Why is your Twitter account blocking people? They blocked me. You blocked me for saying one thing. I said one thing. I'm not even sure if I tagged you. I think I might have. And you blocked me. That's pretty soft. That's super soft for a veteran-run company. Okay? I said one thing. I didn't tell people to go bombard you. And this is the problem with these meme products. This is the product for conservatives, and this is the product for liberals. No, this is just a USP, unique selling proposition for people who would sell coffee. Now, I'm not here to discuss. He talked about in this interview about this in this interview where he doesn't want to be purity tested as a conservative. I don't want to purity test him as a conservative. In fact, I think it's more cringe if he runs his product as a conservative coffee brand. That's cringe. It's just as cringe as Ben and Jerry's and their woke ice cream. It's your coffee should just be good. When you're talking about something you eat, you should probably hang your hat on the things that taste the best. If your position is that I should drink your coffee if I want to support vets, well, then actually Starbucks has done a really good job at hiring vets. Lots of them. There are a couple of vets that work at my local Starbucks. All right. Not to say you don't hire them, but I'm saying I think that you decided to wade into the culture battles and you thought you could play both sides. You actually thought that going to the New York Times was going to be a positive thing for you. Look at these comments. If they misquoted or took things out of context, why did BRCC proud enough to share the article on Twitter? Exactly. After the attack on Christian symbols is disgraceful. St. Michael. They donate to Democrats. Why skirt around this? It wouldn't matter if they not grifted off conservatives. Second, self-righteousness is never a good look. Had they been on Twitter, perhaps they'd been more grounded. You can't escape truth. People who avoid Twitter like the plague, so they want tight control around their brand. They also talked about how the quote in the article was about not allowing other people to define your brand. Now, the way it read in the New York Times article was in reference to their customers. In this interview with Dana, they said, well, it was actually about the press. We didn't want the press to say we were a white nationalist coffee, right? That's what they said in this interview. Except that, again, is not what you said in the interview. Now, you can say fake news all you want, but that's not the case. That's not what you said. You talked about people being, the awful people, and you want to get rid of them. He wanted to, they want to pay them to not be your customers. I don't think that that's what you meant. I think that you literally are lying. That's how it seems to me. It really seems like, I hate racist, proud boyish people. Like, I'll pay them to leave my customer base. But who are you talking about exactly? I don't believe you. I think you came on here to do damage control on a really brand-friendly channel. I don't know if you sponsor her show or not. I'm guessing probably, given the fact that you link to them. Black Rifle Coffee locations are popping up. Check their website to grab everything. Like, you're selling to them. Now, maybe that's just, hey, you had them on, so you give them a link. I think that's reasonable. Dana gives no pushback whatsoever in this interview. I mean, there are all sorts of conservative bros that have just seen this interview and be like, meh, this is fine. As someone who works in higher academia and has an MBA, what they did was an absolute torpedo to the hull of their ship of success. I don't see them being able to recover from economic losses from this, nor the majority of their customer base. I don't know about that. It's not going to destroy their company because not everybody's online. But I absolutely have seen hundreds of people on Twitter canceling their orders. Now, the donation to the Democrats, he said, was because he lost a bet. Maybe that's true. I actually don't care about that as much. I'm more concerned that, you're willing to, that you're lying. You would not have just retweeted this article without saying what a hilarious misrepresentation, all this stuff. Lay down with dogs, I mean, all of this. Gross. Try it again. Don't recommend. Out of business in 6 months. Oh, great. Redneck coffee gives new meanings. I mean, did you actually think the New York Times was going to prop you up? I don't. Stop buying products because they pander to your political beliefs or the color of your skin, and buy the best coffee. In particular, consider buying local. If you're going to buy a substandard product, coffee or something like that, I prefer you consider going to your local farmer's market and get something at least produced locally rather than this giant corporation that clearly doesn't give a dang about their customers. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.